Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today let us understand some of the very important most commonly asked interview questions based on the event loop concept in JavaScript. So before we get into the questions, let us understand what is event loop in JavaScript actually is. Okay, so we know that JavaScript is synchronous single-threaded language where every code is executed one after the other using the call stack. So when I say this, so suppose I have four lines of code as shown in this example, one after the other, each and every code will be put into the call stack, and based on what type of execution it is, like is it a asynchronous or it is a synchronous code. Does it have a dependency? Is it gonna fetch some API? So based on that, the code will be put into the event queue. Okay, so all the synchronous execution is done first, and then the asynchronous code will be fetched from event queue and put into the call stack using the event loop. So when I say this to understand very basically what happens is those code which has no dependency, no fetch of data or anything it might be, right? So all that will go to the call stack that is executed first. Once the call stack is empty, event loop will fetch the other set of code from the event queue. Okay, so this concept is very important to know to solve any output based question in JavaScript interviews. So let us understand one of such question where like they'll ask this question for the very basic first question that you can expect. Okay, so if you see here, there are like four console log statements, where two are directly written without any dependency, and then there are two set timeouts in which the console log statements are written. So when a person who doesn't know the concept event loop, he comes and directly says that because A, B, C, D are written one after the other, so all of them will be executed one after the other. But that is not how it works. So when I say console log A and B, uh, console log A and C doesn't have any dependency. So these two are the set of code which is put into the call stack, and that is executed first, and then set timeout code will be fetched from the event queue and put it to the call stack, and that will be executed. So when I see there is like the delay between these two are like 100 milliseconds, so both will be executed one after the other. So it should basically print A, and then C should print, and then B, and then D, because that's how the code is structured. Let's see the output. So as I said, like A and C are console logged first. Okay, and then B and D. Okay, suppose I have this at a zero with zero delay. So what should happen? A, C should print first, and then there are like two set timeouts. Because this has zero delay, this should execute first, and then the B should execute. So if you see like AC DB, this is one of the very basic question to understand the concept of event loop. So let us take one more example from the same similar type, similar pattern, which we just executed, right? So let me take the next one. So there comes there's one more concept that you should understand, that is a micro task and the macro task. Okay, so if you see here, like there are like five statements similar to what we did before, right? There's A and C. So when now you already know the concept of event loop, so without any doubt A and C will be logged first, so that is for sure. Then we have B, E and D. Okay, to know, just to the rough guess what happens is like, because B is at the zeroth you know millisecond, so probably B should print first, and then we have a E that is in the promise, so E should print, and then after 1000 milliseconds D should print, right? So this is what one can guess, based on the event loop concept that we understood. But this is wrong, because when it comes to the promises and set timeout, promises have a higher priority of execution than the set timeout. So that's where the concept of microtask and macrotask comes. So this goes into the microtask, so this will be executed first, and then the set timeout is executed. So what should be the output then? So A and C is correct, and then we have B, E and D. because this is at the 1000 millisecond and this is at the 0th millisecond, but we have promise as well. So uh, just remember that whatever how like wherever the code is, whatever it is, like with the delays, promises are given higher priority, so E should be executed later. Okay, so this should be E. And then after E we have two set timeouts. So one is with a 0 delay and the other one is with a 1000 delay, so B should be logged later. And then finally, because after 1000 milliseconds the D should be printed. So this is how the execution should happen. Let me run and show the same. So A, C, E, B and D. So this way you will understand the concept of microtask and macrotask in event loop as well. Okay, so this is also one of the popular question that you can expect in any front-end interviews. Okay, now let us add one for loop inside this to understand how that is executed. Okay, it is very much similar. I hope you can pause the video and guess what should be the output, having the same very same concept. The only thing is we have added one for loop. Okay, so for loop here is a synchronous code. So let me understand in this way. A and C should be console logged first, and then the concept of synchronous code, that is for loop, should be executed. And then we have promises which is given higher priority, that is E should be printed. And then we have two set timeouts where 0th delay is this B and then D. So the output should be like A, then should be the C. And because we have synchronous code, that is for loop, so 1 to 5 should be executed first, or 0 to 4 probably. And then this should be 0 to 4 because we are starting from 0 till 4 we are executing. And then we have the promise, that is E, and finally D. Let's run and check if this is the case. Yeah, so A and C are executed first, and then the for loop is executed. And then we have a higher priority, uh, that is promise. And I forgot that there is one more set timeout, right? So after E then there should be B as well, and then the D. Okay, so these are like, they can twist and turn in anything, like they can put one set timeout inside this to just to make you understand how it works. So any kind of twist and turn you can expect in similar format. So that is, if you have the basic understanding of event loop, how it executes, and then you can solve any kind of questions.